It's one of the most beautiful drives in America, but for 3 years, it was a hunting ground. Between 1986 and 1989, 4 young couples were targeted along Virginia's scenic Colonial Parkway. No robbery, no clear motive, just a serial killer who knew exactly how to vanish into the woods. Some say it was a local, others believe it was someone who wore a badge. Today, we're reopening the files on the Phantom of the Parkway to see what the FBI missed. Welcome to the USA Suspects. Today, we investigate the shadows of the Virginia coastline. The nightmare began on the quiet, chilly evening of October 9th, 1986. 27-year-old Kathy Thomas, a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy, and 21-year-old William and Mary student Rebecca Dowski drove out to the Parkway. They parked at the Cheatham Annex Turnout, a scenic overlook known locally as a secluded retreat for couples. 3 days later, a park jogger looked down the steep, overgrown ravine and noticed something alarming. Their white Honda Civic had been driven or pushed down the embankment, partially submerged in the dense underbrush. Inside, investigators discovered the bodies of Kathy and Rebecca. Their throats had been slashed with surgical precision. The killer had poured diesel fuel over the interior and exterior of the vehicle, attempting to incinerate all physical evidence. But diesel fuel does not ignite easily without an open accelerator, leaving the vehicle and crime scene intact. Police noticed critical behavioral details. Neither victim had been sexually assaulted, and their money and jewelry were untouched. Kathy Thomas had severe defensive wounds on her hands, showing she fought ferociously against an armed attacker. Because the Parkway was federal property, the Federal Bureau of Investigation took primary jurisdiction over the double homicide. Detectives interviewed hundreds of people, chasing dead-end leads across Williamsburg and Hampton roads. For 11 months, the case went cold until the predator struck a second time in September 1987. 20-year-old David Knobling and 14-year-old Robin Edwards disappeared after spending an evening together. David's black Ford Ranger pickup truck was found abandoned at Ragged Island Wildlife Refuge. The driver's window was rolled partially down, the windshield wipers were running, and the radio was playing softly. 5 days later, a hunter discovered both bodies washed ashore along the James River shoreline nearby. Both victims had been executed with shots to the head from a small caliber handgun. Just like the first attack, their wallets, money, and personal items were left untouched inside the truck. Investigators began connecting the dots. 2 young couples, 2 secluded parking turnouts, 0 robbery motive. Panic rippled through the colleges and military towns surrounding the Virginia Peninsula. 7 months later, on April 9th, 1988, the Phantom struck for a third time. Christopher Newport University students Cassandra Haley and Richard Call went out on their first date. The following day, Richard's bright red Toyota Celica was discovered abandoned at the York River overlook on the Parkway. When park police opened the vehicle, they were confronted with a bizarre and chilling scene. Resting neatly in the backseat was a bundle of folded clothing, including both victims' shirts, pants, underwear, and shoes. Richard's wallet, watch, and money were intact. Cassandra's purse sat open on the floorboards. Search teams combed the surrounding woods with bloodhounds, divers, and helicopters for weeks. Despite massive searches, not a single trace of Cassandra Haley or Richard Call has ever been recovered. Joyce Call began a lifelong crusade to uncover what happened to her younger brother Richard. Someone ordered them out of that car, Joyce told investigators. Someone with authority. In September 1989, the 4th and final double homicide occurred near Interstate 64. 21-year-old Daniel Lauer and 18-year-old Anna Maria Phelps were traveling together to Virginia Beach. Their gold Chevrolet Nova was discovered abandoned on the westbound rest area ramp, facing the wrong way against traffic. The keys were missing, but Daniel and Anna Maria's belongings, luggage, and money were left undisturbed inside. 2 months later, hunters in a logging forest a mile from the rest stop made a horrific discovery. The skeletal remains of Daniel and Anna Maria were found covered beneath electric blankets taken from their vehicle. Forensic examination revealed stab wounds on Anna Maria's bones, confirming they were murdered before being covered. 4 distinct crime scenes, 8 young victims, a 3-year reign of terror along Virginia's roadways. FBI profilers at Quantico began dissecting the chilling commonalities connecting the 4 incidents. Every single scene involved a couple inside a vehicle at or near a secluded highway turnout. In every case, the driver's side window was rolled down and the glove compartment was left open. In every case, purses, wallets, and money were untouched, ruling out standard robbery entirely. Most chilling of all, there were no signs of a struggle or broken glass at any of the abandoned vehicle locations. How did a killer convince 8 young, athletic people to exit their vehicles without fighting or fleeing? FBI profilers reached a terrifying hypothesis. The killer used the illusion of legal authority. A predator utilizing a magnetic dash light could pull over unsuspecting couples under the guise of an official traffic stop. Approaching with a badge and a flashlight, the attacker could easily order both occupants out of the car. Once outside the vehicle, victims would be handcuffed and transported to secondary execution sites in the woods. This theory explained why driver's licenses were out, glove boxes were open, and vehicles were neatly parked. Was the Phantom of the Parkway a rogue law enforcement officer, a security guard, or an impersonator? Several surviving motorists reported bizarre encounters with unmarked vehicles flashing red dash lights on the parkway. In one instance, a female driver fled when an ununiformed man in an unmarked car demanded she step out into the dark. Suspicions swirled around local departments, park rangers, and private security guards working military bases nearby. For years, investigators focused on a former local deputy sheriff named Fred Atwell. Atwell had inserted himself into the investigation, claiming to have insider information and befriending victims' families. However, extensive interrogations and search warrants failed to yield any physical evidence linking Atwell to the homicides. Other notorious serial killers were examined, including the I-95 killer and Keith Hunter Jesperson. But timelines, weapon calibers, and geographic alibis ruled them out one by one. In 2009, a major scandal rocked the investigation when over 70 graphic crime scene photos were leaked onto the internet. The photos had been taken by a private contractor copying FBI archives, deeply devastating the victims' families. The FBI apologized publicly and recommitted specialized cold case agents to review all physical evidence. For over 30 years, the Colonial Parkway murders remained one of America's most haunting unsolved serial killer enigmas. But behind closed laboratory doors, modern forensic genetic genealogy was preparing to deliver a seismic breakthrough. In early 2024, the FBI and Virginia State Police held a joint press conference that stunned the true crime world. Advanced DNA testing on evidence from the 1987 Ragged Island murders yielded a definitive genetic match. Authorities officially named the killer of David Knobling and Robin Edwards. Alan Wade Wilmer Sarsher Wilmer was a local commercial fisherman, clam digger, and tree trimmer who lived in Gloucester County, Virginia. He was an avid hunter who owned a small wooden boat and frequented the waterways of Ragged Island. Wilmer also drove a distinctive blue 1966 Dodge truck with personalized license plates reading E.M. Raw. DNA also definitively linked Wilmer to the unsolved 1989 murder of 29-year-old Teresa Lynn Howell in Hampton. But Alan Wade Wilmer Sauser could never be brought to trial. He passed away in December 2017 at the age of 63. The breakthrough solved the Ragged Island homicides, but it opened a massive new wave of questions. Was Alan Wade Wilmer Saar responsible for all 4 Colonial Parkway crime scenes, or did multiple predators hunt the same stretch of road? Investigators note differences in methodology. The first scene used a knife and diesel fuel. The second used a firearm. The third left folded clothes. The fourth involved stabbing and blankets. Serial killers rarely change their signature so drastically across consecutive attacks within 3 years. The FBI and Virginia State Police are currently testing preserved DNA samples from the remaining 3 cases against Wilmer's profile. If Wilmer's DNA matches the other scenes, the entire Colonial Parkway mystery will officially be solved. But if the DNA does not match, it means a second serial killer operated along the same scenic highway during the exact same years. Families of the remaining victims continue their relentless fight for definitive forensic answers. "We won't stop until every couple has justice," Joyce Call stated at a recent memorial gathering. Today, the Colonial Parkway remains a scenic national parkway, but its dark history lingers beneath the trees. Visitors driving along the York River are reminded of 8 young lives cut short in their prime. The cases of Kathy, Rebecca, Cassandra, Richard, Daniel, and Anna Maria remain active homicide investigations. Advanced forensic tools and genealogical mapping continue to close in on the remaining secrets of the Parkway. Science has proven that no killer can hide forever in the shadows of the past. We honor the memories of the victims and the unwavering dedication of their families. Their stories remind us why we never stop investigating America's dark, cold cases. What is your theory on the Colonial Parkway murders? Was Alan Wade Wilmer Sarsher responsible for all 4 crime scenes, or did another predator share the road? Do you believe someone with real law enforcement credentials was involved in the traffic stops? Here at the USA Suspects, we deconstruct America's most complex serial murders, cold cases, and federal files. If this investigative deep dive kept you captivated, smash the like button right now to support our work. Share your thoughts, suspect theories, and insights in the comment section below. We read every single response. We want to hear from the sharpest true crime sleuths and cold case researchers in our growing community. Make sure to subscribe to the USA Suspects and turn on all notifications so you never miss an unsealed file release. Send this video to a fellow true crime enthusiast who follows forensic genealogy breakthroughs and unsolved cases. Your support enables us to continue unsealing historical files and fighting for the truth. Check out the recommended case file on your screen right now to dive deeper into our investigative archives. Question every assumption, analyze the evidence, and never stop seeking the truth. The darkest secrets are always hidden along quiet, scenic routes, waiting for science to illuminate them. Thank you for watching and investigating the shadows with us today. Stay alert, stay sharp, and always watch your rearview mirror on dark, scenic highways. Every couple deserves justice, and every victim deserves their full story told. We will continue monitoring federal updates as DNA testing concludes on the remaining crime scenes. Justice may take decades, but the hunt for the truth never truly ends. Join us in our next case as we unseal another classified American crime archive. From highway corridors to forgotten cold case files, we pursue the facts wherever they lead. This has been the USA Suspects, investigating the shadows. Case file, the Colonial Parkway murders. Partially solved, still active. We will see you in the next dark investigation. Remember the names, honor the victims, and stay safe out there. The truth is finally stepping out of the shadows. The USA Suspects. Investigating the shadows. Case file closed.